check.
What, are you not here?
But we have a little bit more of it.
Okay. What, are you not hearing anything?
I think it's good to be around 3,000 light.
Oh, it keeps you really motivated.
So I'm hearing that.
I'll never go back to being having my own studio. Not that I love it. And we just had our 1-year anniversary. Included us, right? Yeah, published. Yes, the Harper Collins. Yeah, the first book comes out the end of March, and they're working on
Well,
books
you got
right
sound
now.
coming in.
Yeah, that's, I'm fine,
It's
as
like
long as
young
I see the
adult.
sound coming in.
It's called Joey and Johnny the Ninjas.
Not what?
At some point, and they're actually working on.
I'm gonna turn, hold on.
So they're gonna have
Okay.
a display of Joey and Johnny and the
Now.
main characters. It's
Got
sort
it,
of like-
Tashi?
Well, here, why don't you just test
Go
it
to
out?
Tashi, right?
Here.
Go to Tashi. All right, hold on.
If you took ninjas and put them sort of in Harry Potter world, that's
Yep, here we go.
yeah. I can show you guys his face at some point if you want. And they do the illustration and the writing, so we got like images.
Okay. All right. I mean, you had me at.
All right. So I guess wait.
You had me at.
So I guess. All right. In all seriousness, we are going to go live in about 5 seconds.
You
So.
said that 5 minutes ago.
Well, hey. In all seriousness, we're live.
All right, or not quite yet.
Not quite yet.
Yeah.
So have you figured out why they call it pork butt?
I have not figured out why they call it pork butt.
Hello, Chuck.
Can you explain this to me? Miss Padmore.
Read my note and said it looked like because it looks like a butt.
We are live. Hey, welcome to Udicci.TV Social Studio 252 at the Hungerford. We're here and the party's happening.
You got it.
Wow.
All right.
I can see the rating soar.
The ratings are soaring. So hey, welcome back. This is our second week, and we're still in our planning mode. If you were looking around, you'll start to see a couple changes.
Yep.
We lost the lectern.
Thank you.
Lectern.
What?
The
What do you
wooden
call it?
table.
I don't. We called
It's
it the
a
lectern.
The lectern.
Lectern.
What do you say? All right.
You might call it a left turn.
I call it a freaking table made by Ray Charles.
Table made by Ray Charles. That's gone too. We now have Ulysses as part of the set.
The reel to reel.
The
Does it
real
work?
to real. No. But it does have a smiley face now.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That probably won't be here very long. We got our wall up. We got a wall.
Where?
We're making huge progress down here.
That was here last week.
No, behind it. Don't worry. Don't get up. Don't get it. Don't get up. Just stay comfortable. Just stay comfortable. We're all good. All right. So tonight we're actually going to be introducing you to some new friends.
Where's our monitor?
We don't have a monitor yet.
I need something to look at.
Anybody have a mirror?
No,
We got a mirror. Tess will be happy.
I don't know where we're
Hold on. I
looking.
got a mirror in the back. I'll just get it right here.
But where are we looking? I don't know where we're looking.
You are marvelous. You look fine.
Okay.
Just roll with it.
Okay.
Just roll with it. If you walk through there, no. Okay, go get the
Cookies
cookies.
over there.
Excuse the interruption. If you were here, you could have the cookies. All right. So, anyways, we're still just going to continue on. We're going to talk about more what's going on.
Okay.
We have some new friends, some new characters, or maybe not quite characters yet. They have to kind of fully agree. They have to sign all of the contracts, and we haven't got to that
growing.
stage yet. Yeah, we haven't got to that stage yet. But that's going to be some fun stuff. And then we've got the guys from Real Talk 360. They're going to continue talking, and while we're building out all of our sets. So cool. So I wanted to talk about our show first.
Okay.
All right, because you said the heel stuff that you're going to do, but that's going to be more like a special series.
Yes.
Yes.
I think that will work out better. Because I have some people who actually want to come on and talk.
Okay. So that's going to be a special series. So one of the things I was thinking about for Verbum, what I wanted to try to focus on this year was on relationships, and the whole idea of the Verbum originally, right, is that the importance of individual words, and we kind of started that last year, and then what it meant in society. But I was thinking we could kind of change it up a little bit. I kind of wanted to make it a little bit more like just Thursday Night Social, because that's kind of what it will be. but I still want to make it fun. I was thinking that maybe what we would do is take the first 15 minutes and just catch up all that's new in the business, all that's new in the world, all that's new in the world of Hungerford.
Okay.
Right? I don't know if we do exactly 15 minutes, right? Now, maybe
Cannon made there's a documentary. It's actually very interesting, and there's two of them. It was actually two cousins that started it, and they were Jewish Israelis. They did movies over there, and then they started doing them over here. I mean, the story though was crazy. I'm watching it. They didn't partake in that when they heard that was a documentary, and they decided to go make their own on it. I'm still trying to find that one.
so.
See, he needs to be focused on movies. Then he's not too wild.
I was gonna say, is that like that sounds like a show you guys should do?
That's what I keep telling him. I want to do a movie show.
Well, you could even like once a month they could do a movie show, right? They could do it on.
I could do
different
once
night.
a month.
Yeah.
The thing is, if it weren't for my time being so divided, I actually have topics to talk about movies every week. I could do it every week. Did you know that, like, all the little secrets and stuff about Wizard of Oz? You ever seen a documentary on that?
Yeah.
Where actually the little guy hung himself? I mean, that's in the movie. I'm like, what?
Did you see John Wick? Did you like that?
I did like John Wick. I didn't like the fact that he blew up because someone killed his dog. I didn't like that
I
storyline.
understood why he killed his dog.
I understood why, but come on, dude, you're gonna kill
Because he had
all those.
nothing. Well, first of all, he was a psychopath to begin with. That was, you know how what's that song? Don't push me because I'm close to the edge.
Absolutely.
And then his wife dies, and then the last gift that his wife gives him is the dog.
I understand
and
that.
Here comes this
But did he really have to
knucklehead.
take out the
But
whole
here comes the
freaking
knucklehead.
Eastern Borg of freaking mobsters and everything?
His former employer.
I don't know. I think the plot should have been
You know
different.
what? The thing is, whoever expected that Keanu Reeves would be just a great action?
He should do more action trips.
A lot.
I think it was phenomenal. I think everything but the
When I
plot.
first saw him
I did not like the
in
plot. Now,
first saw him in
oh yeah.
Speed.
Now I think if they would have killed his wife, that would have made more sense to me. Flip out and kill everybody.
Somebody killed your dog.
Yeah, I wouldn't go kill everybody.
What would you do?
See, the thing is, he didn't even stop at the son who did it. He kept on and went all the way to the father.
Because he knew it had to be. That's the thing.
I hear
had
you, but
a lot of
still,
waste
I-
time. You
I
know if
cannot
you
buy
kill-
into that.
Just look at the trailer that they have now. The trailer, the one with
John Wick?
No. The trailer with Liam Neeson and.
Oh, I seen that when
What does he say? You killed my son. Now I have to.
Yeah.
You know, if you're with the mob.
Yeah, but they killed his son.
Wait, but you know that if you kill the son,
Yeah, I
the
understand
father's
now
gonna
that.
come. You got to
I
kill
don't.
everybody.
I couldn't. This is why John Wick would never sit on one of my top action flicks. It comes highly recommended. I love the action scenes. I love it. I love
Oh
the
yeah, I
movie.
wouldn't put it on my top 10.
No, it wouldn't be on my top 50. Only because I didn't buy the plot.
I would put it within my top 10 Keanu Reeves, but not my top 10 films.
It would be in my top 10 Keanu Reeves. Yeah, that's about it. If that's a list to have.
Yeah, for me, I've seen all these.
I still think what was that? Was it Point Break? Was it Point Break that he did with Patrick Swayze? That was even better than that.
Have you seen all of her films?
Who's?
The director.
Who's first?
She's the woman that directed Point Break.
Who was that? That was a
Catherine-
Bigelow.
Yeah, Bigelow.
Bigelow did that?
Yeah,
That's cool. Okay.
yeah. Did you see the one she did before that with the vampires?
Which one?
Her first film was the one with the vampires and this dude Catherine Bigelow.
I like Catherine. She put me on. Ever since
Well,
her locker.
she said when she decided.
I'm a fan.
Well, I've been a fan of her since.
Well, I didn't even know about her. I've seen her movies, but she really put me on.
She said she saw something in Keanu Reeves and she knew he was going to be a big star. And that's why she cast him in Point Break.
And then she was married to this guy.
Oh, yes, James Cameron. He left his wife before that for her.
She's
Then,
fine. Like,
He left her for somebody younger. Then he left Linda Hamilton for somebody younger. You found it?
yeah, I got it. Filmography. Okay. All filmography. Let's see what. Strange Days. I used to love that.
Oh, you know what? I'm obsessed with that movie.
When that movie first came out, I watched it a lot.
Oh, my, I'm obsessed with that movie on so many levels.
The Loveless, Near
No,
Dark.
keep going. Near Dark. That's the one.
Never even heard of
You
it.
gotta watch that.
I don't
Look
know.
at the cast. Look at the cast.
Okay, hold on.
Everybody went on to do something. That movie is really good. About vampire family.
Oh, there's some big names in here.
Yeah, but they weren't big then. But that's the one that made her Near Dark.
Well, we can do it.
Okay. See, I remember Blue Steel.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You know,
Point
it,
Break,
it's about her.
Strange Days,
By the way, there's coffee coming
K9, The Widowmaker, that was cool.
I
Hurt
didn't like
Locker
that
though,
one. It was kinda
and
boring.
she
Hurt Locker
got.
I liked.
Yeah, at that time there was the other submarine movie that came out, something K5, U59,
But I took my
U159.
daughter. I think I can't remember who I took to see that. Somebody young. They said, because Sean Connery was in that, right?
No, it was Harrison Ford.
That's actually.
K9, the Widowmaker.
K19.
She was at because I saw her. She introduced it. I went to see her at the Eastman House. You never go to the Eastman House?
I've been there. Wait, Catherine's been here.
I met Dennis.
Hopper.
Yep.
Get out.
You know who else I met?
Out of
You know
here.
who else I met?
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
You shook his hand?
Yeah. You know who else I met?
Okay, so
Ingrid
Udicci.TV's been
Bergman's
taken
daughter,
over by other
she's
TV
a model.
or movie
Did you
shows.
see that movie?
We got this new Real Talk 360. Like real in this case,
This
would
is
be like
not Real
R.
Talk 360. This is Test and Time.
Fearless.
Well, but it's kind of like
Fearless.
I know Fearless. That's the one. What's her
The one
face?
that played his wife.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
Real
Real
Talk.
Yeah, but the one that played
Real
his wife.
Talk with
Real
Tess
Talk.
and Meg.
And look at the real
Yeah,
Jeffrey.
But it would certainly be
Oh, yeah,
on
Elizabeth
under
Ruth,
the
yeah, yeah.
She wrote a book.
360
I read the book.
media brand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She was here
absolutely.
She was here
Yeah,
too.
I don't know.
They showed.
They don't even announce
They
it like
showed
that.
Blue Velvet.
All right, guys, we
How
need
do
to
you,
kick
how do
you
you
guys
know
out.
about that?
All right, you guys.
That's why we needed to do
All right,
a
you need to
movie
hook a
show.
brother
Take
up.
the conversation somewhere else. We gotta take.
Try to take me off this
We
nice
gotta have
VOA
the show
chair.
back.
You got it. Go ahead. I'm
But
here.
I thought I was on the show.
That's right. I thought it was on the show too.
Actually engage
Sit on that little. Sit on that little. You wrote a real.
I can't sit on there.
I don't
All
know
right,
what to tell
so
you.
you're back? Are you back?
I'm
See,
here.
that's what I'm
All
telling
right,
you. We
all right.
gotta do a show. We gotta
Thank
do
you.
a show.
We gotta do. You gotta do a
Because
show
it's a
together.
whole different level.
Right. So you guys have to work that out.
We'll do movie reviews.
We got
Hated it.
Like that.
2 snaps up in the air. In a circle.
So how are you gonna do your movie reviews? Are you just going to randomly come on and talk, or are you gonna
I think
actually
that's
ask
the best
people?
way to do it.
All right. I think you guys should actually, in advance, share at least one of them, so other people can actually like get in the conversation with you.
I think you should. I think you have the. Well, you decide. I think you have the conversation so that people become interested, and then they will see the film.
Yeah, I get it, but see, that's part of the problem is we never get in the conversation with you guys when you're talking about real, like, sorry, real talk.
I go like this all day.
Me too.
I know exactly.
I read
where
movie
nobody
scripts.
else can get in on the conversation.
Do you know how before the internet, do you know how many volumes of movie stuff I have?
Yeah, me too.
Encyclopedias.
I was just talking about.
So why can't
Earlier.
you share them in advance?
We could,
Because then we could have people like text in their thoughts, and you guys could talk about
and then we just
scenes.
ignore their thoughts.
Well, you. That's exactly what we'd be doing.
Because opinions vary.
Well, I mean, it's like, yeah, because movies are, to me are very subjective. Like any art.
Okay, we're off movies now. We've got Grandpa. Did you
That's-
see Grandpa this week?
Which grandpa?
He's
Your
Grandpa this
grandfather?
week.
Aw.
First
Girl
one.
or boy?
Boy.
Boy. You happy?
I'm
Excited?
cool. I'm excited. Yeah, absolutely. Sure. Cool.
Go from here.
For my daughter.
No, I mean there's nothing like it. I'm telling you.
Everybody keeps saying that, but
Yeah, I'm telling you. See,
I just like the fact that I can just give them right back.
you can do all. I mean, there's nothing like it.
I'll
It's
hug them,
just-
hold
it's
them, and when we
unreal.
start to cry, here, come grab your
Come
kid.
get your kid.
Go get your kid.
Come get your kid.
Go get your kid.
I love them more than anything else. in
Because
the
you know
world,
me,
but when I'm
hashtag
tired,
whip that ass
say,
quick.
Come get your kid. And then you'll see, because my grandkids will say, oh no, mommy, we don't do that at grandma's. Oh, grandparents, grandkids, best. Love them to death.
I'm not playing around with this one.
So that was the news for the week.
But then you'll say, oh, leave the baby alone. Let him have it.
Never.
Yeah, that's what
You know why?
happens.
You know why? Because I do not like baby kids.
Oh, I didn't say baby's kids. My grandkids aren't
I'm
baby's
just saying,
kids.
I like kids that are disciplined. They listen when they're told something. That's it.
Me too.
I like kids that just listen.
Yeah.
Listen to adults.
That's what I would say. Do what
And
I say,
then I'll
as I
say
say to do it, when I say to do it, and we can get along.
Record everything.
And freedom.
Or
Freedom.
hashtag whip that ass.
Record everything.
Record everything.
I have conversations with my grandkids when they were 2 and 3 years old. I have my granddaughter when she's like 3, counting to 100 in Spanish. Now she can't even remember.
And now you got like
But
so
I
many
have
ways
all,
of
you know,
capturing.
I have them singing. Because you know why I do it? Because I said when I'm not here, they'll be able to.
What grandkids you got?
2.
How old
They'll
are they
be
now?
able to listen. One just turned 13 and one is 8.
Oh.
But they can listen to us talking. That's a memory that, I only have one recording of my mother's voice. One.
I'm all over Facebook, so I'm like, my kids are just gonna have to live off of that.
But by the time they grow up, Facebook may not even be around. But I'm just saying, treasure the memories. You'll see there's nothing like it. Nothing like it. Nothing like it.
Are you ready for the Kelly?
Those children are just staying to the neck.
This guy's
Okay, so we might as well just get back to the movies. So,
anyways.
I'm trying to think what else I saw. I watched something this week. It was an old movie. Did you get Bounce TV?
Yeah, I get Bounce TV.
See, I don't have cable.
Me either. I don't have cable or internet. I download everything.
But
I
I
said
saw
it.
a movie with Cuba Gooding. That was actually pretty good.
You know what I just finished seeing?
What?
The Book of Negroes.
Was it good?
I loved it.
It's not.
It's a 6-part miniseries.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's over from what I understand. It's 6
No,
parts.
I don't think so.
Is there more?
Because I saw a commercial today.
I hope there's more because I really.
Hey,
I want to see that.
I gotta kick you off.
You got who?
I have to kick you off. We're
You're not
introducing
kicking
a new
me out.
character.
You better come in with a warrant or
We
something.
gotta introduce a new character.
It doesn't
Allison,
get.
Allison,
doesn't
can
get
you come
newer
over
than
here,
this.
please? Now, can you please?
You know what? Just kick Chuck out. Because Chuck is the reason why we don't get
He
ratings.
is the most difficult guy to do anything with.
No, I'm the most entertaining.
Will you
You need to
please
get Chuck out.
ask him?
I can interview you.
Can you please ask? All right.
My interview is much better.
No, you didn't interview
Hey,
his chair.
you know what? Let me tell you something. I can tell you
There
the
we go.
interview that Tag and I did of narrator was the best. The night we were
I know how to
Yes, it
interview.
was. Yes, it was.
I'm a
There was
trained
about 5
therapist.
minutes- There was about 5 minutes about narrator and about 55 about tag. We're good.
We're not having a therapy session.
No, but
I don't want you digging up the
we're,
dirt.
We're going to talk about your frames.
That sounds
And
good.
no, we need to talk about your artwork. Because I don't want everyone to have the impression that you only do framing. Because you showed me your artwork, and your artwork
Yes.
is incredible too.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about your artwork.
No. You see, you don't jump ahead like that. You say, who are...
You can't do
You
that.
can't jump. First of all, no one knows who she is. You got to assume no one knows who she
Oh,
is.
I'm sorry.
So you say, hello, who are you? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, tell
and then
us
you
a little
segue into the
Okay.
other stuff.
All right,
do,
I'm
do
sorry.
I do
I
journalism
apologize.
101
You're
with
right.
you?
That's right. I forgot. I knew her already. I forgot.
No, but we're not here for you. We're here for
I
them.
understand. I understand.
Okay,
I
okay.
understand. I take that back. Just make believe we're starting over.
See, now I got to work with her, okay?
I'm Allison Nichols. I am. I own Creative Framing and Art. I do custom framing, but I'm also a local Rochester artist.
Born and raised?
Born and raised. Moved out to Albany for a while. Came back to finish up college at Roberts Wesleyan.
Oh,
Yeah.
And where's your studio?
It's here in the Hungerford building, 2 doors down.
what was your major?
Studio art graphic design.
Oh, so it is. Okay, cool. I mean, you are one of the very few people that actually get a job in something that you actually went to school for.
If you had
That's
told,
That's
if-
pretty uncommon nowadays.
well, I have a degree in graphic design, but I don't actively pursue that. I'm more of the fine arts. I like to get my hands dirty.
Now,
with
when
paint
did you realize that was going to be your thing? I mean, were you a little kid? Did you know after high school, during high school? Because
My early-
I asked because my kids are all teenagers and they don't know what the hell they want to do. I knew what I wanted to do when I was little.
I've
What
always
did you
known.
want to do?
You always know.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
My earliest memories are drawing. I've always been an artist.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What did you want to do?
Music.
All right, now are you doing music?
I'm still doing music. I'm just not nowhere with music. But yeah, I'm still doing music. Absolutely. I got a recording studio and everything. Yeah. But the dream's not over. The dream is over when you're dead. So the dream's not over. So I'm still dreaming.
I like being able to live the dream. It's a lot of work.
Absolutely.
I'm not where I need to be, but I'm getting there.
Where do you want to be?
I want this to be a full-time venture. Full-time.
So tell us exactly what it is that you do.
Well, I own my own custom framing business. I've been framing for 18 years. I've had my own business for 11, but because I was a stay-at-home mom for most of that beginning time of the business, I worked out of my house. Shared studios with a couple of local artists, and about a year ago, we had the opportunity to move here into the building, which I knew would be great for the business because I could expand, more room, different, bigger client base. I've done a lot of work for the wonderful artists in the building.
Why
It's been great.
frames? It's got to be something with frames that got you into frames because Your education, your background does not say anything about frames. I mean, is there a college lesson that
I
say
can
this is
tell
how you make
you.
frames? You know, that sounds like an old lost art.
Well, yes.
Because frames right now are made by machines.
It is. It's an art form. It really is, to have the right eye for the color, the design, the layout, the right frame and matting. So I graduated, did my internship at the Strong Museum, worked on the Kid to Kid exhibit, which was
I used
great.
to work there. Okay,
Oh, cool.
years ago.
Yeah. This was almost 20 years ago.
No, I didn't go that far. I didn't go that far.
Well, I had my first taste of public art working at the museum because I worked with the exhibit's designer at the time, and they proposed me with the opportunity to create a wall mural. It's 14 feet tall, 27 feet wide, and it's still there to this day.
I think I know that mural.
It's in the back part of the Kid to Kid, and it's a big box of crayons with a choo-choo train,
Yeah. I've seen it.
handprints all over.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
Picasso
yeah.
quote.
Okay.
That was great. And since then, I got back into public art a couple years ago. I did a mural at our community bikes on Hudson Ave.
Yep.
I did a couple electrical boxes on Lux Street,
Oh, so
Carter,
you're-
Avenue D.
You're one of those vandals that are out there, right? Okay.
But the city paid me.
Only
I
she
was
knew about me.
paid.
We won't talk about me.
I was paid.
She got paid.
I
for
got
hers.
paid for it.
You got paid for yours. So other people almost got paid to find me.
You got fined, I got paid.
I didn't get fined. They couldn't find me.
Yeah. So, framing, just to sort of backtrack, graduated, I was working at Michael's at the time. And
That's where I get my stuff framed. My movie posters.
not anymore.
Not anymore.
That's right. Not anymore, Jen.
Well, she's
Now,
framing,
her.
She's framing two of the pictures that Narita's
Yes.
doing for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw the paintings. I'm like, I know exactly what frame to put on
she
that.
did.
I know exactly. So I was working in the art department, and the manager of the frame shop was going on maternity leave. They kind of said, "Hey, you have an art background. You should be able to do framing. You're
You
dealing
didn't
with
frame it all
artwork."
before this.
Never. I had no idea about the framing world at all.
So you were just filling in.
I was filling in, and I fell in love.
You found your place.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly
there's
right
something
there.
about finding your art form, that thing.
But that's just a facet.
That's just
Because the framing fills, I was telling Chuck this the other day, the framing fills a technical need that I have, and I'm able to sort of very technically craft my skill. It's very organized. There's, measurements.
I gotta ask. So, is there other people out there that making art out of this that you've studied
Oh,
and looked
yeah.
at and say?
Oh,
I mean, you
yeah.
gotta have heroes right now. People that you're like, oh my gosh, like such and such guy or this lady. She's like,
yeah.
she's like the legend in freaking art frames and stuff.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, because there's no school for this.
Well, you can take a class, which eventually I would like to do. I just have to save up the money to be a certified picture framer. And
there you go.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? She's got to go to school to become a certified picture framer.
I am a
I mean, did
framer
it cross
by
it?
experience, and
Did it ever cross a thought on your mind that you might be possibly better than the teacher or the instructor?
oh sure.
Okay, but
But
you just
you-
want
It's
a
all
piece of
for
paper.
me.
You know what?
No,
Oh, so wait, that was a really quick answer. So, did you ever think you might be better than the teacher? Of course.
Like, what do you
Of
think?
course. What do you
I
think?
am the legend. I'm the legend.
What?
They Google me. They Google me.
But you know what? You know what
They
I
don't
think
Google
funny?
them. They Google me,
he's
man.
talking about a hypothetical
Trained.
teacher. He's not talking about. I'm not saying I'm better than so and so.
I just say, has it crossed your mind? Because I mean, this is not like
For me, it's all
painting
about.
Picassos.
it's-
This is frames. I mean, not to knock it down, it's frames.
Oh, yeah, no,
How
I
much
know.
of an art can that really be?
Come on.
Trust me.
You never say to
Well, that's
anyone
what
how
I'm.
much.
That's
can
what
your
I'm
art
asking. I'm
really be.
trying to. Let me lead. You follow. You
No,
follow. I lead.
no.
You know, I lead.
got
You
something
follow.
to say.
Yeah, you got something to say.
I got
You
something
just
to say.
bounce off of what I'm
I was
saying.
going to say
Oh,
is
boy.
that I think with any art form, one of the reasons that you may go to school is just like I knew a lot about movies from watching them from the time I was 18 months old. But when I went to film school, what I learned was the language. I learned the language so that in a different environment when I'm speaking to someone, I can understand what they're saying and take the conversation somewhere else. Whereas before, I could talk about it, but I didn't know the language.
Right.
You know, you just talked about a multi-billion-dollar industry. We're talking about picture frames
No,
over
no,
here,
no.
okay?
I'm not
Picture
talking.
frames.
I'm talking about art.
Now, is there frames up for auction?
Wait,
There's
wait,
frames
wait,
that were
wait,
made
wait.
back in like the 17th century. I mean,
Hold on, hold
that's
on,
got to be a
wait.
collector's thing,
I'm
right?
going to do the business break.
What are you doing?
What's the size of the framing business?
I don't know.
What's the size of the framing
I'm
business?
asking her.
Well, that I don't know.
There you go.
What?
But
You know what? That's
yeah.
why you should not be in
You
this
should
spin.
be asking questions you
I'm
don't
a-
know the answers to. And
I'm
as a
picking
business
her
owner,
brain.
You should know the answer to that. All right. I'm
This
back.
is where you come in.
Frames. There's got to be some that are like people probably auction off. I mean, things that people. I mean,
Probably.
again, this is a lost art. I'm into housing. I go into basements, and one of the things that I find a complete lost art is stacked stone foundations. Because they take all these little different sizes of stone and they make a freaking foundation that sits up and holds a house for like the next 200 years.
Right.
No one does that anymore. So I mean, frames back then, if you look at some of these pictures that are up in Paris or whatever, they're like 300, 400, 500 years old.
You know, we could
They took
almost
just as
say-
much attention to the frame as they did the picture
Well,
sometimes.
that could be said for almost so many things that were made in the past. Things were built to last.
People paid
And
a lot of
now
attention to detail.
things are made as throwaways. You know, with a life of maybe 2 years at best. But the things that we grew up with that were being built, I don't care what it was. It was built to last
yeah.
a lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it did. And where I really see it is I joined this
Hold on. Let's have some fun.
Are
What do
you
you
serious?
guess? What do you
Oh my
guess the size of the market?
gosh.
Oh, he checked it out. He
What do
got it
you
online.
guess the size of the market?
Can he just
I
break
know
the
it's
thought like
huge.
that?
What do you?
I know.
He's not allowed to do that.
What do you think? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. This brought to you by Lexington Federal Credit Union. Your partners in entrepreneurship.
See,
No,
he
help
doesn't
me.
do
Let him have his
that on
moments.
Amanda's
Yeah.
show.
God forbid we do it to his show.
Oh yeah, that's like, there you go.
This moment brought to you by Lexington Federal Credit Union. Your entrepreneurial champions. Okay, tell me.
He has no
Tell me.
idea. See why we need that monitor?
Tell me.
I don't
What
know.
is this? Well,
I don't know. I'm not in a
You were very
picture.
condescending in your
No,
Okay.
I was picking her
Can
brain.
I tell you something?
2.5 billion.
Just recently, a local framing friend, he has his own framing business, very successful, just attended a framing convention in Las Vegas.
In Vegas, okay.
In Vegas. Big names.
Better be huge, yeah.
And whether this impresses you or not, Jane Seymour, the actress, has her own line through this one
framing
particular.
line, so we need to create a brand for frames.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's stop.
And you're like, what? Wait,
$3 to $6 billion.
3 to 6
That's what,
billion.
did I say two?
Frames.
I said 2.5.
Does that include all the ones that they sell in Walmart?
3 to 6 billion. That's the total market size.
Okay.
I
3 to
said
6
2.5
billion.
billion.
It's big.
Yeah.
It's big.
I mean, it's not like 100
I had
billion,
no
trillion dollars.
idea.
Like,
All right, yeah,
It's a billion-dollar business.
okay, it is. Okay,
It's certainly
fine. You
a little
moved
bit
your
bigger
point.
than, like,
Can we get
our-
back to our interview? Get it out of here.
But I still want to get back to your art.
The artwork,
Wait, I
yeah.
got one last question. With the framing, you have a niche, you have your own little design that you came up with that's unique, that might set you apart, and aside from,
Come on, guys, we're trying to do a show here.
I'm gonna smack them all like the Three Stooges, I swear. Like, you've been doing frames for how long now?
18 years.
18 years.
Yep.
Have you created something that's unique that you could say is your little niche that could set you aside from other framers that may possibly get you into that, you know,
What was that?
what the hell was
Oh
that?
my gosh.
Was that
This is
you
a
too?
class act operation.
Dude, that came from way back over there.
Oh my gosh. Who did that?
I just better not smell it. That's all I'm saying.
Welcome
This is
to Udicci.
my first interview experience.
Welcome to Udicci.
This is all the time here.
No, it's okay. This is right up my alley.
Okay, good.
Do wow. The way my tagline is creative framing and art where framing is a work of art. I literally look at each piece that comes in through my door and figure out how I can best and uniquely frame that piece, because I'm very passionate about it. And somebody is going to come in my door, present a photograph, an original piece of artwork, whatever it might be. That holds value to them. That is something that is sacred to them.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I want to take that and just expand off of that. Like the focal point needs to be that piece. I just want to create something beautiful around it.
And you created from scratch.
I don't make the frames myself. I
Oh.
have several suppliers that I get the moldings from.
Gotcha.
But I put together the matte combinations,
Okay.
the fillets, the different.
So that's the art part that comes.
Yeah, because one
Right.
of the pieces that you're doing for me is a piece of original art that was done 40 years ago. Remember? And she looked at that. She said, "I can't believe this is 40 years old because it's an original painting that just."
Well, it was in
I had
such
it.
good condition. The colors were
It
so
is.
vibrant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've just moved it. I've never hung it, never had
Yeah.
it in a frame. And she looked at it and she said, "I know the perfect frame for it."
Yeah.
And your price ranges from 10 to
Moderate.
10,000.
I have moldings that are $10 a foot, and then I have some that are like 50,
Okay.
which are the big, wide, gorgeous gilded,
Okay.
which I will probably only use once in a while. But I like to have a nice range because I like to appeal to lots of different tastes and styles.
And this works along with what other art that you do?
So my personal artwork is very figurative based, working with the female and male form, and I put a lot of organic imagery in with that: leaves, flowers,
It's
vines.
almost 3D, right? I'm trying
Well,
to remember the ones you showed me on the wall.
yeah, the ones that are right in the studio.
So these aren't paintings.
Yeah,
These are paintings.
Yeah.
Okay.
based off of figure drawings from figure drawing classes I've taken. But then I'll then
Is
go
it like
back
when
and
someone comes in naked and you draw them? Because I mean, I want to be at that next session if it's a female. I'm just saying, I got to put
He
my hand
wants
in it
the
for that.
model.
It's
I
very-
always try to draw
He
on.
wants the model.
it's very
I want
professional.
a model. Yeah, I want a model.
It's very professional. It's actually been a while since I've taken a class because I've been so focused on the framing business. But I am going to start getting back into it shortly to create
do you
new work.
Do you find that when you have more than, I don't really want to call it multiple art forms, but it's sort of like I have things pulling me away from the writing now that I want to get back to, and I have this sense that I'm losing this, that all this is passing me by because I'm focusing on something else. And it sounds like you're having the same experience with framing.
The framing is because I wear all the hats.
You get any closer to me, I swear I'm gonna bite you.
Oh my gosh, we're trying to.
Can you let him? Do you ever hear about?
I'm
You
trying
let
to
someone
give you
finish their
direct-
thought, then you interrupt.
She's right in
Then all you gotta do is give a
We're
signal.
We're
Give a
trying
signal.
to give you signals.
No, you get that.
Here's your signal. We need to
You see,
go
this is. When you like no, come up with something. You can't just cut somebody. Damn,
She's
middle of their
all
talk.
of a sudden.
You're like the most unprofessional freaking.
Hello.
And I know what your commercial breaks are like.
How you doing, honey?
How you been, girl?
Oh my
How's
God.
everything?
What a week.
What a week.
I can't take this weather in Ruston.
No,
Oh,
I
come
can't
on,
stand
stop.
it either.
Come on, you guys, come on.
You know, it seems to be
No,
going
I'm
around,
done.
so let's not let
It
that
feels
happen.
great.
I've
The,
always
sun,
had
the
a
sun's been out
but
every
this is
day.
the worst
Yeah.
week ever.
Come on, the sun's
Ever?
been out every day.
Ever?
I'm trying to stay positive.
I know, it's hard. I'm right there with you.
Oh, okay.
So the whole purpose for the break
We gotta
was
do something to, you need
kinda
to put some tape
you,
on
you need to
that.
make sure that you don't spend the whole night on frames because there's a whole.
Did we just transition?
We just transitioned and you interrupted us.
What did you transition?
No, don't say nothing. I'm sorry.
Right.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, tell him.
I'm sorry.
Tell him.
I could
Tell
have
him.
wrong. I should have said.
You should have just let us
if
roll
you
with
would
it.
just shut up.
You know, I'm gonna. You know, you make this completely unfun.
I am so
Wait,
glad that
and
we are at
then,
commercial break.
and then you had to go Google how big is the framing industry,
Which was
and
an
then
additional
come
5
back.
minutes.
Well,
all right.
That was a commercial
Look,
break right there.
The point in all of this is simply that there's a new endeavor.
I'm gonna catch a felony really bad.
I'll tie him up. You cut him.
You hit him high, hit him low.
All right.
I'm
wrong with
washing
this
my
guy?
She was right in the middle of a thought of
That's-
explaining
of our new-
something.
If I trusted you guys to carry the show without me, I'd just go sit down and back. But I
You know what? Why don't you go home and then come back?
Why are you talking to the person off the camera?
Are we on?
Yes, right.
They don't tell us
I
when
can't
we're
do this.
off.
I'm sorry. I wanted to interview you, but I can't take it with these guys no more. I thought I was doing just fine. We're going through a whole journey of getting to the end. I can't do it. I'm still stressed out.
She was right in the middle of a sentence.
Go ahead, Chuck. Go ahead, Chuck.
What?
Go ahead, Chuck. Come on, Chuck. Get in there, Chuck.
Live TV and
You're pulling it off.
So, do you see how hard it is to get Tag off the set?
No, don't try to put it on tag.
Wait a second. Wait a second. I started this show an hour ago with you. Tag comes in, and how many times have I asked Tag if he would get up?
I know, but we were in the middle of interviewing someone.
I understand that.
But she was literally, Chuck, she was right in the middle of answering the question, how do you handle the difficulty of the framing and getting back to your other artwork, which you feel like you're losing? She was explaining that to us, and you just cut her off right in the middle. That's crazy.
Except for this.
Let him have it. Tell him more.
I asked her that question earlier, and it brought her to a very emotional place, something very painful that she didn't want to talk about, so I didn't feel that I should allow you guys to continue down that path and hurt her so much on live web TV.
Oh, so instead,
You know, when you go back and talk about this, keep on to your friends. Chuck is the one that has bipolar issues, okay?
I know he is.
What?
You're full of it.
Maybe. That whole last thing, maybe. There maybe.
I met Allison
You've
before
never seen
you
me
did.
cry.
No, I have not. No, this is absolutely
You're
true.
gonna see me cry tears of laughter right now.
I mean, I've seen her artwork. We wanted to
Dude, your
talk
ratings
about
just went
that.
down.
Jeez.
I
That was the
appreciate
story
that.
being told.
But now there's like
You
laughter
just
going
brought
on.
chaos to it all.
It's all about chaos.
I'm so
What is this
disappointed
world
in
without
you,
chaos?
Chuck.
Chuck,
Yes.
tell me what you want to know.
Oh, I want to know. So,
I
we're
was
getting.
into this Ritalin pill today.
Good point. I didn't take my Ritalin pills today. So, we're talking. So, what is this new thing now? Have you guys have a working title yet?
What new thing?
See, this is the whole point.
We are throwing together, Lisa just presented a couple new options.
Excuse me, who is Lisa?
Okay, so as of last Friday, Lisa is currently sitting on the couch in the background.
Hi, Lisa.
I have
Lisa!
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa!
Now, does Lisa work with you in the studio?
no. Lisa, our kids go to the same school together,
Okay.
and
Story of women's lives.
right, that's where the connection began. She and her husband visited the studio for First Friday. She looked at my artwork and was very, it appealed to her because of a vision that she has right now that she has brought me on board with. We're both very excited about it. She would like to create a magazine that appeals to mothers, not necessarily focusing on,
My grandfathers.
no,
Really?
mothering
Do you have to
as
interrupt
much
Miss-
as
Whoa,
the
whoa.
process that we go through as mothers,
on,
trying to remain professional.
Yeah.
Lisa has a wide range of experiences with writing, editing, getting doctorate in clinical psychology. She would also like to have a crossroads of the mother's experience and giving women a platform which they can, without judgment, express themselves in their process, their experiences as moms. But also bring in various people from the medical field, OBGYNs, PCPs, therapists, that can then bring in their medical points of view and information. So you're really getting this wonderful merging of life experience as a mother and then representing clinical information as well. So it won't quite be a medical journal, it won't quite be parenting magazine, it'll be like sort of a middle road for the intellectual woman who needs a little more information, you know.
somewhere in that spectrum of what I like to call health literacy. See?
Part of it.
That
Well, and
was,
it's-
that was my research interest, health literacy. And I think it would also be, I don't know about grandfathers, but there are a lot of grandmothers raising children.
And actually, we were just talking about
There are a
this.
lot of grandmothers
It is
raising
going to be female-based as mothers, but we're going to look at all different types of mothers, grandmothers, women who adopt children, women who are surrogates, you know. So it's not just, you know, your traditional mother role,
Yeah.
but it's really going to be exploring all the different facets.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. And so the working title right now that Lisa came up with is called The Narrow Pass. Really that idea
Oh,
of,
you know the image that just went through my
well,
mind?
the image of how as women we are sort of reborn or
Yes.
birthed into motherhood.
Right.
So that's one of the main titles that is floating around, but we have a couple other that we're very much in the brainstorming phase right now. So
I have to work with you guys.
And
we'll see.
and we're
'Cause I
trying.
do have a lot of people.
Because you're a writer.
Well, but not just that. I worked in community and preventive medicine at U of R, and so there are a lot of the professors that were in my department
Okay.
that do maternal child health research work in different countries, and so there's a lot of stories to be told.
Well, and the wonderful thing is, we're going to highlight artistic talents, creative writing, poetry, visual arts, theater, movies. We're going to hit this from many different
I can't
aspects. So it's not, you know, it's going to appeal to a broad range of women.
And we're going to, you know, very much consider making sure that it's a regular part of Udicci.TV, that we're going to put it under the new Cultivate Media brand, which is already targeting or speaking to women in general. So hopefully it'll become a regular segment, a regular part of the show, and just really part of all the stuff that we're doing. Okay, good. That looks
We're
like we
getting
got
the thumbs up.
Yeah, we're getting the thumbs up
If
there.
I'm
That's
not,
possible.
if I'm forgetting something, please.
Perfect.
Okay.
And well, I'm even really good with saying that I'd love to invite people to walk through the business development process
Oh yeah.
of this. So if people are interested, because we're going to begin actually doing the business planning, we're actually starting tomorrow on the entire process. So this is a new product that we're hoping to have out to market later by September of this year. We're not quite sure what it's going to look like yet, but we'll be building the audience base between now and then, and we're beginning that tomorrow.
I'm going to start working on cover design
Very cool.
to see what sorts of things we can play around with that. And we're also looking at having a tangible magazine that you can open, you know, flip through pages, but very importantly, having an online presence as well. So that's another, there are going to be two different aspects to the magazine.
Well, this
Because
day and
a lot
age,
of,
you have to
well,
have-
the magazine, it really is, it's not limited to, but we'll be targeting professional women. So, I don't know about you, but for me personally, I have my phone with me all the time. If I need to look up something, boom, 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 you can send information so quickly, and you can find stuff, share it with friends. So it makes a lot of sense.
And then I think the paper is good too, because I am old school in that sense of when I read, I like to touch paper.
Well, and I
like
think
to touch paper.
I enjoy that too. When I read a book, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
And I think we're probably looking at a target range of like women in their 30s, that's when I started having a family. But women are having families much later in life. Women, you know, in their 50s have younger children now. So having it
grandmothers
accessible in two different venues makes a lot of sense.
And the interesting thing you said about that too, because even when you're talking about professional women, and what I've experienced in the past 2 years is that grandparents that are raising children who have retired from their profession, but now find themselves being parents again, you know, and it's a different experience.
And I know how exhausted I am with my two kids,
You
and I'm
cannot
40.
believe-
I can't imagine
You cannot believe.
doing it all over
You
again.
cannot believe.
Yeah.
It's extremely, but I need to be involved with this.
That would be great. That's why we're here.
Am I forgiven yet for interrupting?
Not exactly, because
Wait, after that?
glad I found out about that, but she was.
You would have
in the-
never
she
found
was in
out
the-
about it
she
if
was
Tag
in the
was still in
middle
this
of-
chair.
She was in the
You would have
middle of-
never found out. How about just a thank you?
Thank you, Tag, for your time.
Really? See, and I was trying to do like a whole movie thing. How about just thank you? And I think that was that Jack Nicholson?
For once, we had him under control. For once, we had him under control.
by Mr. Udicci himself.
I am not Mr. Udicci. That is Ulysses. Would you please understand the storyline?
We had him under control.
Would you
Do know how hard it is
please
to
get
Tag
up
under
with the
control?
storyline? Ulysses
He was
is
very
the main
famous.
character
She's hysterical.
of our story.
I mean, he's serious.
No, he was serious. Yeah.
Never mind.
I know. I'm out.
Never
That's
mind.
it. I'm being booed off my own
No,
set.
you're not.
You guys can have fun. You know what, Tag? Just take it over.
No, I'm definitely not interested in that.
Yeah.
You have to introduce me to
Well, I've
him.
only known about this for the last week. And like I said, I know Lisa because our kids are in school. I had no idea her background. And when we started talking, our meeting started at 9:30 at the studio. She didn't leave until 3:30. Like, we had a 6-hour. It was amazing, though. Like, totally sharing our experiences, talking about resources and ideas. And it was just a very energetic, enthusiastic, inspiring conversation that lasted 6 hours, which was wonderful. So
Because that
once she started explaining it, I was like, oh, I want to be there.
Oh
This is
yeah,
amazing.
definitely. Because I have interest in health literacy, patient empowerment,
And this is going to make information accessible to women who otherwise might not have had those resources, or maybe they were too afraid to ask for something, but then they read an article about another woman's experience and they say, oh my God, you know, I feel like she's reading my mind. Like, that's exactly how I
Yeah.
feel. And who knows what type of help that could lead to down the
Because I
road.
wrote I have in my writings, I have a chapter on and my experience with my pregnancies and what that was like.
It's
you
not
know.
what you're led to believe.
And also, when you reach a certain age, what does that mean?
Yeah,
What does that,
yeah.
what do you feel? And that, actually, I was,
You gotta speak up.
I don't want you to hear this.
When the mic's on in your life.
You guys are whispering on TV, like really.
But what was interesting about that was going through that experience and writing. I wrote this piece called "They Took the Eggs." No, they took the refrigerator but left the eggs. And as I wrote that about the feelings of that led me into writing about my feelings about motherhood and then my experiences during my pregnancies.
And I
things like
think,
that.
unfortunately, a lot of women, we tend to put a lot, as parents in general, but as women, we tend to put a lot of pressure on ourselves to be the
Yes.
best mother we can. And especially today, I think there's a lot of societal pressure and a lot of people watching parents and how they. So I think, and I'm speaking a lot from my own experience, it's hard to open up to how you really feel because you don't want to be judged. You don't want to admit, like, "Ugh, this is
Well,
really
because we're
difficult.
sort
Why
of-
didn't somebody tell me how
We're sort
hard
of
this
going
was
through
really?"
this transitional phase of, well, we don't do that anymore. We don't do that anymore. Well, what do we do? You know, we have all these problems with the kids, but we don't do anything because if we do this, then we're wrong. If we do that, and I think, at least in my experience, and I've talked to women my age group too, is that you come to a point when you realize that as a parent, you think about your own parents and whatever baggage you may carry from them, that you come to a point where you understand that any parent is doing the best
Yes.
that they can do
Yes.
given what they know. You may not agree with
And
it.
circumstances.
As the child, you may not even agree with what your parents did.
Sure.
But as you mature, you begin to understand. My mother, my dad did the best that he knew how to do,
Exactly.
and you have to accept it for that. So the only thing you can do is do the best you can,
Right.
and feel good about it. But that's part of the maturation process.
Right. Well, and the interesting thing is, we're going to be dealing with those difficult issues, the feelings of guilt,
Yes.
pressure, depression. One of the interesting statistics that Lisa told me about was that one in 4 women is diagnosed with postpartum depression. Now that is just diagnosed by a doctor, someone in the professional medical field. That doesn't count the women who don't have the voice or don't have the resources or
Don't have
are
access
too
to-
embarrassed or too afraid to get the help. And she said her doctor said it's probably actually 3 in 4. That's a high statistic. And so that's just one motivating factor to giving women this resource and trying to get them the help and also giving them the voice. This is a judgment-free zone. This is a place where you can, we're looking at doing it in a very thoughtful way.
And it kind of sounds almost, I joined a group on Facebook. It's a Brain Aneurysm Survivors Group. And so it's a safe place.
Right, exactly.
A safe place where you can talk about your experience and not be judged.
Right.
And you also find out, and what I found, I joined because I was new to Facebook, and I just couldn't take the videos and all the other stuff going on. And so I just unfriended everyone, but I found these groups to belong to.
Sure.
And I found in joining that group, it gave me a place where I could help people who are just experiencing it, because you have people that are in, and they call it your Annie anniversary, right? And so you have people who are in the hospital now. You have people 1 year. I'm 13.
Different stages.
Yeah. And where the support sort of comes in is because you begin to notice the common threads.
Right.
So even someone like me who's in year 13, I see that some of the things that I'm still feeling, I'm not the only one.
Sure.
And that we're
That's
all
the
dealing
biggest
with
thing.
this.
You are not,
The
like, a
only
lot
one.
of experiences that I've been through when I initially am going through those difficult life experiences, I think to myself, I feel so alone. I don't feel like I have anyone to really talk to. And then the more you start talking to people and actually taking that leap of faith, you realize so many people are struggling with very similar issues. And then you find a commonality. You find, a kindred
It's your
spirit and
support.
somebody in your
It's
support
It's
network.
a safe, supportive place. And part of it may be because the way our society has developed, we don't have close family units anymore.
Right.
And so your mother's not there. Your auntie's not there. The people we would have talked to in the past about, well, you know how to say, this village raising these children, you just don't have that anymore. You're sort of on this island by yourself, and you're all in passing. Like you said, your kids go to school together. I'm a grandma, and I was picking up my granddaughter 2 weeks ago, and the school is calling. My daughter's working out in Ontario County, and I make it degrees from Brighton, and then I get there, and the woman in front tells me, "Who are you?" I said, "Well, my granddaughter's here. You told me to come and pick her up." What school does she go to? She goes to this school, because you call me, you know what I mean? So, going through it, trying to, because I work professionals, and it was extremely difficult. There were times when I went to work at 5 o'clock in the morning, and no one was there, and I just had my daughter in the stroller. And then I would leave, take her to the daycare center or to my mom, or to daycare center, my mom was in the class yet, and then go back to work. And then would have to work till 10 o'clock at night. So I'd bring her back in the stroller, put her in the stroller while I worked. And so, it's an enormous amount of stress and pressure.
Sure.
And so, and I didn't have, my mom came, it was good, but there wasn't that sort of network of a safe place. Because mom is still mom.
Yeah.
Why don't you just do this? But why don't you gotta do it to my daughter? But I think you have to have a safe place. Where you can express yourself in many, many, many different ways.
Well, and that's what we're hoping to do, especially by having so many different ways to do it. People can write in. We're going to feature poetry, creative writing. We're going to feature visual artists, photography. I mean, there really are a lot of different ways that people women express themselves. So being able to provide those different venues is going to be very important. So we're very excited about it. We're very excited. I mean, I've only been in on this for a week, and I'm on board. I'm thrilled about it because it touches a very basic chord in my life, and I can directly relate to so much of what she was talking to me about. That's why we had a 6-hour meeting last week. It was fantastic. So I think when you can, as an individual, when you're passionate about what you're doing, where you're going, how you're spending your time, and building up a network of people around you and following those, that's when really great things happen. So I feel fortunate to be able to pursue my framing. That's a passion. My artwork is obviously a passion. And this is a new passion that I'm discovering. And I feel like it's just going to take me down another creative road that I'm just scratching the surface, which it's going to cause me to stretch and grow in many different ways, and that whole process is very exciting.
That sounds so exciting.
Yeah.
I have to be involved.
Yes, I have no doubt that you will be. I'll introduce you to Lisa in just a moment.
Yes. It's exciting. See, I think it's been my experience too. I spent so many years, because I thought about it when Tag was talking to me about the training, and you said, well, there's the technical aspects of it, and you enjoy that.
Yes.
The thought that came to mind when you said that, I'm an accountant by trade, but I always wanted to be an artist. It went through different phases as a child, and I ended up becoming an accountant. But what I found during my accounting career was that there were a lot of accountants who were frustrated artists, because we were all falling back. Our parents had said, you have to have a way to support yourself.
Yeah.
And then I said, I spent many years saying, what is it? So I think I know some people are fortunate, but for me it's been an evolutionary process. Like I began to teach. I didn't think that teaching was one of my art forms.
Well, there are many different ways, many different types of art forms.
Well,
it's not just the visual arts,
well, exactly.
which
That's what
I think a lot of people initially think of.
Right.
Cooking.
Yeah,
Preparing
definitely
an amazing, that is an art form.
You know who explained that to me? Albert Kelly's administrative director.
Really?
For a few years. And so that was my first time working with a group of artists. And there were a group of artists that I became very good friends with. And we would sit around the table at break time. And it was the first time they were the ones, and I'm still in touch with those guys.
I just read an article on through an online magazine that focuses on Rochester artists, one of Pele's. I believe he works out of the Pele studio, or he was one of Pele's students.
Was it
Garrett Fitzgerald Berry?
I know who you're talking about. Well, there's a couple. There's a couple.
Sure.
They were all around. And actually, they ended up kind of going out into the world. But the thing that I loved about working there was that when we would sit around the break table, there was nothing that I could say that they wouldn't say. It's cool. Do that. And that's when I learned, when my mind opened up. And I said, you know what? I can just be myself, do my thing, and just, And so it has been organic. The teaching, I just fell into it. And I said, you know what? This is one of my art.
Oh yeah.
Sure. Is it teaching? Is it an art or is it a science? And it's funny because they say the same thing. Is it an art or is it a science? I did the technical part of it, but then when I worked in a think tank.
But I think when you bring your heart and soul into something, that's when it moves from being technical and it elevates it to an artistic piece. That's what I would say. That's what I would say.
I agree 100%. Lisa, come on over.
She's not going to come over.
We're not streaming, are we?
No, she said that.
Yeah, I agree with you. So I think, if you find it, you never know. I would this was before we had Facebook and stuff like that. I did this little film magazine. I was typing it in the house, just giving it to my friends. And I went to a conference, a media literacy conference in San Francisco. And a woman introduced me to someone else, and she said, she writes a film magazine. I said, I just give it to my friend. She said, I know that magazine. I said, it was called Beacons of Light. She said, yeah, that's it. I said, it can't be, because you're in San Francisco, and I just gave it to friends. She said, no. She had a picture of her mother and her dog. I said, that is my magazine. I don't know how that happened, but, it will get out there. I think that's incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I have no doubt about that.
That's incredible.
No doubt.
So what do you think? First time on the show.
Fun.
Yeah. Are you ready to do it again sometime?
Yeah.
All right. Now what you have to do is actually, because now if you come on the show more than a couple times, we call you a character. Now, Tess is a cast member. Julio's a cast member, right? And you got to kind
Narrator
of
is a character.
Yeah, right. Narrator is a character.
She's my she deserves an Emmy.
She does. But very soon, I think we'll have Narrator as a cast member.
Yes, we will.
And we really don't know what the difference is, but we
sounds cool.
We generally get the idea
The
that cast
hierarchy.
members are always here and characters just show up. And
Yeah.
then characters who figure out that they can become a cast member.
It's a very good one.
Said character narrator. All right. Anyway, so yes, so you're now a character, which means you have to pick a new name.
A new,
Yeah, you have to have a new name. You gotta have a stage name.
I have to have a
Because
stage
her name
name.
is not really Tess. I don't know if you knew that.
He's full of it.
He is. He is. He really is.
We do have, if you will, some stage names, but they don't really go anywhere. So fun stuff.
Very fun.
All right, cool.
Lots of fun.
So this is kind of
My kind of laid back, getting it
Work.
done, but having a great time doing it.
You know how I see this, and this is what I love about it. The person who I love watching do interviews is Charlie Rose.
I like Charlie Rose too.
I love watching.
I do
his
too.
interviews.
I like the black background, the table, and the two people.
And it might be politics, it might be film, it might be
I
books,
love it.
it might be
I'm the same
something
way.
else.
I don't do this really anymore, but I used to love staying up late and watching the
Yeah,
interviews.
I love Charlie Rose. I love his interviews.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to go back and look. You said too last year. I remember looking at it, but I don't remember the set now.
Really?
It's dark,
It's dark.
and
There's
it's
a big
just
round
like a
table.
big round table, big
How
round
big?
wood
Round.
table. They're not close.
No.
I don't measurement wise. I wouldn't.
It's like sitting at a dining room table.
Like maybe like a
Okay.
four
that's a
chair
bet.
table.
Yeah.
Four
And
round.
sometimes he'll have one person, or if he's doing a film, he may have the four major characters of the director,
Right.
two of the
Okay.
actors, the
Right.
writer. But it doesn't matter what the topic is.
Yeah, he covers so many
is
different.
he is an incredible interviewer. So I think about him when I'm talking to him.
Yeah.
We've got a few things. So for where you're sitting, we need to get you better mic.
Okay.
So we're gonna have to work on that a little bit. So because the mic itself last year was much more right in front of us. But
Yeah. We need a monitor.
Tess obviously does not do the tag and I thing, and make sure that we talk really loud. To make sure.
No, I didn't notice that at all.
The only reason we do that is to make sure that it's actually on.
Well, I was intentionally whispering.
At
because of
one
what I was
particular
talking
part,
about.
yes.
Right, because certainly the whisper didn't get picked up either.
Thank goodness.
So, so this is actually what we do. It'll be much more defined, refined in a couple weeks, months, years, but,
Somewhere down the road.
it happens at the pace it happens. So,
Well, I like that organic flow. I mean, it takes on a life of its own.
I like that too. I do. I really do.
Yeah.
You should not. You don't want it to get too
It's
staged.
it's like just being in an open conversation.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree, and that's kind of what it's supposed to be, but it'll get a little bit more
Yeah.
formed, though,
Well, I
because...
like parameters, but being able to go off a little bit is
Yes,
interesting and
yes.
spontaneous.
So that if you will, because everything we do is about branding, and we teach that thing. We actually have another thing you'll hear us refer to as beyond, right? And it's actually beyond the brand. So at a point that we go beyond something, that we have beyond, but we're actually creating another brand that eventually we can sell stuff on. Nonetheless,
The great
everything
Beyond.
we do.
You ever see that sci-fi movie with the little kid that talks about?
But
the
you're
great
exactly
Beyond?
it, though. once you've got those parameters, you have to know if you go beyond them.
Right.
You know, that's like no longer part of Udicci.TV. That might be part of Real Talk, but and that's why when Tag takes over our show, it's problematic because he goes beyond all the time. He will always go beyond.
He was asking some good questions.
I
though.
told
he
you
is
he
good.
did good.
He was
Oh
asking.
no, he's great. He
He
really
was,
is.
he was doing a good job.
Just it depends on the night. Yeah, where Tag may go. That's like Real Talk. Go to Real Talk 360. Yeah, we're good with that. But so fun. So thank you for tonight.
Thank you.
And this is what we do, and it'll just be going on from here until
Whenever.
that sounds like a good time.
Whenever. Like it.
And this whole narrow pass thing, heal.
I keep having a vision every time I hear that.
For obvious reasons. It's very metaphoric.
It is.
It's actually, Lisa could explain it so much better. She actually did explain the mythology behind. It's based on a mythological story.
Okay.
And it's literally the story behind Caught Between a Rock and a Hard Place. That's
Right.
actually based on a mythological story.
Interesting.
Can't remember the names of the different gods and characters and everything, but if we could get her, it would be great.
Oh,
No,
she'll
she
get
won't do
on.
it.
Eventually.
Or she could just tell me the story about 5 more times, and then it'll be ingrained.
No,
So,
no.
Lisa-
One day we'll. What is it? They on Scandal they say you've just been poked. That's what we did to Narada. We got to think of what you call it. She said she would never get up there, and she got poked.
All right, Tim, do me a quick
And it was
favor
one
and
of
just
the
switch to the
greatest
backward
shows.
camera.
She's gonna
No,
kill
I'm
you.
kidding.
She's gonna kill you.
She
She will kill you.
All right. Didn't you guys
But no,
see
it's
the sign
actually-
on the door that
it
said
is
if you
actually
walk in,
based
you're
on,
subject to being on camera?
I think Homer's Odyssey.
It
I
must
think
have
is
fell down.
actually one of
So,
the
all right.
part of the story is him having to pass between these 2 female figures. The rock and a hard place is where the metaphor comes in.
I read that. How old was I? I don't know.
I'll
This
have
is
to
like
get
reading
the
Odyssey.
information, but it is very interesting. So that's where the narrow pass came from.
Okay.
based on that.
Well, very cool. All right, so I guess we're just going to wrap up for tonight, which means we're ready to go to commercial break in 5. I don't want to read it.
Julio, where's Tag? Aren't you guys doing a show tonight? Oh, okay.
All right.